World War II was filled with tanks, aircraft, machine guns, and brutal ground combat. But hidden behind the smoke and chaos was a secret weapon, so unusual, so innovative, that American and British soldiers used it to outsmart Nazi Germany again and again. It wasn't a super gun. It wasn't a secret bomb. It wasn't even deadly. This weapon worked in a way Nazi commanders could never predict. Backhand index pointing right. It created fear, confusion, and psychological shock, without firing a single round. Today, we reveal the WWII soldier's secret weapon that helped the Allies win key battles, and remained classified for over 50 years. Welcome back to the channel, where we uncover real WWII stories, hidden missions, declassified technology, and the untold strategies used by Allied soldiers. If you're fascinated by military history, WWII secrets, intelligence operations, and forgotten weapons, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Now, let's go back to 1943. By mid-1943, the USA and UK were fighting across multiple fronts: North Africa, Italy, France, and eventually into Germany itself. But Allied commanders were facing a serious challenge. They were outnumbered in many strategic areas. German defenses were strong, heavily fortified, and supported by experienced soldiers. And the Allies needed a way to advance without losing tens of thousands of troops. Traditional weapons weren't enough. What they needed wasn't more firepower. Backhand index pointing right. They needed deception. Backhand index pointing right. They needed innovation. Backhand index pointing right. They needed a weapon that didn't destroy, but controlled the battlefield. In London, the British SOE, Special Operations Executive, the shadowy organization known for espionage and sabotage, joined forces with the OSS, Office of Strategic Services, the American intelligence group that would later become the CIA. Together, they crafted a plan. Create a portable, easy-to-use weapon that tricks German forces into making fatal mistakes. Something soldiers could carry. Something that could be deployed fast. Something that would make the enemy believe an entire Allied division was approaching, even if only a small team was present. The result was a groundbreaking invention known as the Ghost device. A secret psychological weapon that changed the war. The Ghost device was part of a larger Allied deception strategy later nicknamed the Ghost Army. But this specific tool was special because regular soldiers, not just intelligence units, could use it. It generated fake sounds of tanks, trucks, artillery, and marching troops, tricking German scouts into believing huge forces were nearby. It also worked alongside inflatable tanks, fake radio transmissions, artificial tire tracks, staged artillery blasts, engineer-made dummy camps. But the heart of the operation was this portable sound system, classified for decades, that Allied soldiers used like a psychological weapon. To the German army, it sounded like dozens of armored vehicles, hundreds of soldiers moving, heavy weapons preparing for attack, entire battalions repositioning. Even when none of that existed. This confused enemy commanders, forced them to retreat, and pulled German forces away from real Allied operations. One of the most astonishing uses of this weapon happened in February 1945, during the push toward the Rhine River, one of Nazi Germany's last major defensive lines. American engineers from the 23rd Headquarters Special Troops and British deception teams combined their Ghost devices to create a battlefield illusion. Here's what they simulated. Heavy checkmark 1,000 infantry troops. Heavy checkmark dozens of Sherman tanks. Heavy checkmark a full artillery regiment. Heavy checkmark continuous supply movements. In reality, there were only 82 men. They spread speakers across the woods, played hours of pre-recorded tank tracks, engine roars, and troop movement sounds, and coordinated them with fake radio chatter sent through encrypted channels. German scouts heard the approach of a massive Allied force and immediately warned their commanders. The Americans are preparing a major assault. Nazi forces pulled thousands of soldiers back to defend an area the Allies never planned to attack. This allowed the actual U.S. Army, including the 9th Armored Division, to cross the Rhine with minimal casualties, a turning point that accelerated the collapse of Nazi Germany. Even after the war ended, the US and UK governments kept the ghost device and the entire deception program top secret. Why? Because it worked too well. Psychological warfare was the next frontier, and the Allies didn't want other nations copying their strategy. Soldiers who used it signed documents promising silence. For decades, even their families had no idea what they had done in the war. The truth remained classified until 1996, when official records were finally opened. By then, only a few surviving soldiers were still alive to tell their stories. This secret tool didn't just confuse the enemy, it saved lives. It prevented battles before they happened. It forced retreats without any real fighting. It allowed small groups of Allied soldiers to appear unstoppable. And most importantly, it proved that brains could win battles faster than bullets. American and British forces used intelligence, illusion, and pure creativity to outsmart one of the most powerful war machines in history. If this shocked you, wait until you hear the next secret weapon used by Allied soldiers during WWII. Make sure you subscribe for weekly WWII mysteries. Thumbs up, like the video to support the channel. Speech balloon comment, more WWII secrets, if you want another declassified story. Push pin share with someone who loves military history. And stay tuned, because the next video reveals another classified weapon that changed the war forever.